Hey again, everybody in YouTube land. Today we have ourselves a 2007 Honda VTX. As you can see, I've already removed the gas tank. I should have thought about doing this earlier. I'm replacing a whole bunch of parts, including the brake cables up here and other stuff that we're going to be doing. But today we're going to be focusing on this here bent pedal. And I'd like to go over, I couldn't find a video anywhere on YouTube, so I'd like to go over what it takes to disassemble this and change it out. First, you got, as you can see, I already took the bolts out right there. So that's a 14 millimeter head that goes right there and there. Then you have the exhaust bolts, one there, and then you got one here, and then one, let's see if we can't sneak back there, but you see it right there in the center of the screen. Those are all 12 millimeter. On the back part of the exhaust, let me just make a side note here, you're gonna need to use either a wobble extension. I happen to use a Snap-on quarter drive wobble extension. Also, another footnote, when you're taking off this bolt, you can take it off starting with the ratchet, but then you'll have to take the socket off because over here you run out of room. So then you just have to finger it off here, and then down here you can just use a straight socket or the wobble socket that is 12 millimeter, and of course take it off. Next, you have to venture off over here to disconnect the exhaust. That's these four bolts right here, and these are 13 millimeter. I happen to use a flex ratchet. Where are you? This over here. Let's see, that's the 9/16. This is actually a 1/2 inch drive, which is close enough. That actually worked pretty well. So you got four bolts over here on the back part of the exhaust, two bolts 12 millimeter here. To recap, two 12 millimeter bolts right here, two 14 millimeter bolts or 9/16 will work just fine. You're going to leave that center bolt in because what you're going to do is take that off in just a moment, because on the other side I believe it's a 12 millimeter. So that's as far as I've gone right now, and what I'll do is I'm going to try to do the best I can here. So what you do is you back off the exhaust as such, or you could just lean it out, and then you got to take off this bolt. So that's where we are at this point. Give me a moment and I'll get that off and we'll go to the next step. Okay, so in fact this is a 12 millimeter, which I undid here. Pull the bolt all the way out, and then this should slide out. I'm gonna need two hands. Be right back. Okay, so we're back. Just continuing here. After I took a better look at it, you have yourself a little cotter pin over here. We got to take that off first. Okay, so now we got the cotter pin out. I prefer to always use a new one. Some people like to reuse the old ones. I guess that's personal preference. So then we got to take off the spring. Now just take careful notice to the orientation of where the spring is, because there's a few bolt holes on the replacement unit. As you can see right here, there's two there, and then there's just a stopper with a hole there. So you want to make sure that you put it back exactly how you got it. Now we're just going to take